Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Anime1 back here with another video, and today I'm here with another report of what if Naruto was neglected and ended up like Obito. So if you guys like the content on the channel, please subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Also like this video, so let's begin the video. Currently, Menma, Kakashi, Yamato, and Sai were inside a tent discussing stuff about Suki Uchiha. So what you're telling me is that you want to visit the Raikage and cancel out the order that he has given to kill Suki. Is that what I'm hearing, Menma? Said Kakashi as he looked at his students with a rather wide eye. And Menma nodded. Yes, I heard she joined the Akatsuki. For what purpose? Obviously, we know. The masked man, he manipulated her. There's no way that she would do it willingly in her right mind, said Menma as he looked at both Kakashi and Yamato. So I request to both of you, please accompany me with this journey. I'm pretty sure I can convince the Raikage, so please, Menma said as he looked at both of them. Kakashi just sighed. Very well, Menma, I will accompany you. And Yamato, you will do as well, right? Kakashi said, giving Yamato an eye smile. Yamato's sweat dropped. I didn't decide that, senpai, and yet you decided it for me. I guess I have no choice, said Yamato as he looked at Kakashi. By the way, how did you know of this information? And what the hell happened to your face? Asked Yamato, looking at Menma. Well, there was this girl named Kari, and she was asking information about Suki. So I simply didn't want to give it away and told her to beat me up. And that's what happened, said Menma, scratching the back of his head. Yamato just sighed. You really are a knucklehead, Menma, he said. Meanwhile, Tsuki was going towards the land of mist, also known as the land of water, for this 5 Kage summit. The summit was being held in the Mist Village since the Mist Village didn't have an alliance with either of the villagers, and it was a neutral party, so that didn't do anything. Since the annihilation of the Minashi clan and there were no samurais left, the Mist Village was the second best choice, so that was that. Currently, all the Kages were rushing towards the direction of the Mist Village, and Menma and the others were also going towards the direction, tailing Samui, Dara, Samui, Omoi, and Kari, who were going towards the Raikage. Meanwhile, Naruto was looking at the ghetto statue. You are gonna be a pain in the ass, but I will figure out a way to seal you away for good, thought Naruto as he looked at the ghetto statue. But before that, I need to borrow some power from you. The 9 tails, well, I'll just absorb some of his chakra when the time comes. Naruto said that he started floating up from the ground, and he held his hand out. The ghetto statue started glowing red as some of his chakra started getting absorbed into Naruto. His body started pulsating, and one of his eyes had purple with ripple pattern in them. Naruto had unlocked the Rinnegan a few months ago. Not a few months, but a year ago, when all this stuff happened and he was still training. And in this year, he has completely mastered all of his Rinnegan abilities, and since his Rinnegan was of his own, it didn't have any drawbacks that Nagato's Rinnegan have. And speaking of Nagato's Rinnegan, the Sage told him to evolve the Rinnegan into further stages. He needed the Rinnegan of a family member. Basically, that was impossible, but since Naruto had a jackpot, his grandfather's Rinnegan would get the job done, so he needed those eyes as well. Speaking of other, he thought, as he started looking towards the ground and started descending and disappeared in a swirling vortex. Naruto appeared in front of Suki, Suigetsu, Karin, and Jugo, who were walking towards the Five Kage summit, along with Zetsu. And he looked at the four of them. Are you four ready to intercept the Kage? This is not gonna be easy, said Naruto as he looked at all of them. The four of them, outside of Suki, had a pretty terrified look on their face. They were just following Suki because he was their leader. And Suki just gave him a smirk. Don't worry, you saw it yourself. I'm more than enough powerful to take on any of the Kages, she said, as Naruto looked at her. You are powerful enough to take on any of the Kages one-on-one, not together, said Naruto as he looked at Suki. She glared at him, but her glare softened when he just glared back at her. Her eyes and the killing intent that she released are nothing compared to his. Naruto again released his killing intent. Very well then, do as you please, but the results must come out, Suki. I want your Sharingan to evolve. You need more battle experience for what's about to come. Your internal Mangekyo may be strong, but yet you don't have the experience to use those eyes to its fullest extent. And with this 5 Kage summit, well, not only will be you killing Danzo, and if possible, make the 5 Kage a little weak. So maybe I'll take a few hostages to make the villages comply to my orders, said Naruto as he started vanishing in a swirling vortex. Suki just looked at the White Zetsu. You know, he's more than powerful enough to do all this on his own. Why is he using me? She said, as Zetsu just looked at her. Boss is rather secretive, but he's incredibly smart. And since he's the true leader of the Akatsuki, he has more work than just battle around foolish battles that he knows that he will win Suki. So that's why he's leaving these trivial jobs to you while he does some good work that is needed for the succession of our plan, said White Zetsu as they all started walking towards the land of water. Danzo and Gaara were walking towards the land of water, of course in separate locations. Temari beside Gaara spoke. Gaara is the youngest of the Kages. What do you think will happen? She said. Gaara just looked away. I may be the youngest of the Kages, but that doesn't mean that I lack in experience in comparison to others. I have gotten the sand out of probably its most trivial position in all of its time, so I think I am pretty qualified for that, and my power rivals all theirs, said Gaara. As Temari and Kankuro smirked, Gaara was confident, and this was what they needed. Danzo, meanwhile, was just silent and walking towards the land of water. If he played all of his cards right, that would mean that he would be a permanent Hokage rather than just someone replacing Minato for the time being. The Raikage jumped down as they heard Samui, Kari, and Omoi just jumped down as well. He looked at them. So, how did it go? The Raikage asked. They all looked at him. It went pretty well. As you have guessed, we got some information about the Akatsuki. Supposedly, Madara Uchiha is the leader of the group, she said, as the Raikage's eyes widened slightly. And anything else? He asked. The one who wiped out the Minato clan was also Madara, and Minato, the Hokage, and other 4 shinobis of S rank were defeated by Madara, while they attacked him at the same time, said Samui again, as the Raikage shook his head. I already know that information. She suddenly spoke. You 4, you Konoha dogs, come out right now. he said, as Kakashi, Yamato, and Menma came out. The Raikage looked at Kakashi. Boss, that's Kakashi Hatake, said Dari as the Raikage nodded. I know. So, Kakashi Hatake, why have you come here? To send a message from the Hokage, is that it? Asked the Raikage. Kakashi just shook his head. No, this is personal request or visit, you could say, Lord Raikage. I'm sorry to intrude your visit to the summit. I know it's pretty rude, but I want you to listen to this young boy over here. Kakashi said, pointing towards Menma. Menma looked at Raikage, and the Raikage looked at Menma. You are the son of Minato. Why do you want to talk to me? If you want, speak, boy, said Raikage as Menma started to speak. I want you to lift your killing order from Suki Uchiha, said Menma as he looked at the Raikage. Amoy and others were shocked. Wait, this is not the time, Amoy said, but Menma didn't give a damn. The Raikage simply started walking away. Menma was shocked. Menma appeared in front of the Raikage, but the Raikage again stepped past them. Menma started to speak. Suki is my friend, and I made a promise to someone that I'll protect her for the rest of my life. I can just not stand there and just be there for the Suki Uchiha while she's the cause for wars of flame to rise between the Cloud and Konoha. So please, Lord Raikage, I beg of you, Menma said, dropping down to his knees and dropping his head. Please lift your killing order from Suki Uchiha. I beg of you. I don't want us to kill each other for revenge anymore. It's just too much, Menma said, as he looked at the Raikage, who again started walking. Yamato stepped up. Lord Raikage, if you remember the Hyuga incident that happened 14 years ago, we excused it, and due to that, many of our people are still alive. It was an act of kindness by the Hidden Leaf Village. Can't you do the same? Please, don't forget that, said Yamato, but the Raikage wasn't listening. Again, he started walking away. Kakashi spoke up. Lord Raikage, this young boy is bowing down to you for the peace between the two villages. What do you think of this? Asked Kakashi as he looked at the Raikage. The Raikage slightly turned back and looked at Kakashi. A shinobi must not bow down to anyone. What matters in this world is power and strength. If you have more power, you simply won't be crushed. It's an act of self-defense. And this is the truth about the shinobi world. The one who is strong lives and the weak ones die, boy. So I don't want you to disregard your father's name, the man I respect the most, for this petty girl who has joined sides with probably the most dangerous criminal in the world right now, Madara Uchiha. The Raikage said. Menma just dropped. That means he couldn't do anything. As the Raikage started walking away, along with his guards. See, Dari, let's go, he said, as the guards nodded and continued with the Raikage. Kakashi knelt down beside Menma. Menma, enough. You did everything you could. Right now, let's go to a hotel and take a bit of rest, said Kakashi as Menma just nodded, his eyes blank. He couldn't fulfill his promise to his brother of protecting Suki. Meanwhile, Suki was hiding at the top of the place where the Kage Summit was supposed to happen. Then she saw him enter the Kage Summit. Danzo and his two lackeys. Two of the other Kages had already arrived. There was a Mizukage since it was her own territory, and Gara And since, his village was closest to the sand, the mist village, the Raikage and Tsuchikage arrived sometime later. And right now, they were standing at a table, trying to discuss things. Here we are, a symbol of the five Kage. Let's remove our hats, said Mei as all the five Kage removed their hats. If no one's gonna speak, I'm gonna be the one to speak first. So, hear me out, said Gora. The Tsuchikage spoke. To be at a Kage at your age, looks like your father certainly trained you well. It's quite an accomplishment, Kazakage, said the Tsuchikage Onoki. Goro looked at him. Maybe you're probably right. That is why I'm here as the Kazakage, aren't I? Said Gara. The Tsuchikage started laughing. You young ones are certainly cocky, aren't ya? Said the Tsuchikage. Mei looked at the Tsuchikage. Lord Tsuchikage, please don't make fun of Lord Kazakage. Lord Kazakage, continue, she said. Gara started speaking again. I am a former Jinchuriki. I fought the Akatsuki, and they took my tail beast, and nearly killed me. So I considered the Akatsuki really dangerous. I sought out the corporations of five Kage many times, but all the times I was ignored except the Hidden Leaf village. Only Lord Hokage, Minato Namikaze, answered my requests. At that time, when various lands had their Jinchuriki stolen, the response by this group has been far more slower, he said. The Tsuchikage scoffed. What can any of the five villages set an example when they allowed the Jinchuriki to be taken? He said. It is very embarrassing, don't you agree? It's common sense to resolve these in utmost secrecy. Seeking help from the foreign nations is just an embarrassment, said the Tsuchikage. So guys, the conversation of five Kages pretty much goes the same. This include topics like Naruto annihilating the Minato clan and stuff. So let's get on to the juicy fighting parts of the Kage Summit, so let's get on to that. Meanwhile, in Konoha, all of the Konoha rookies were gathered in the same place, looking at each other. So, it's decided, we all will take care of Suki, because if this continues to happen, Menma will go after her, and somehow, if the Raikage kills, or any of the other nations kills Menma, Lord Hokage will not take it lightly, or neither will we. We are his friends after all. We will seek out for revenge, or if either of us dies, our clan will do the same, and so war will start. That is not what we want, said Shikamaru as he looked at them all. They all nodded. There was nothing back to argue against. Sakura, you're once your best friend, so I know this might be tough for you. But no matter what you say, our answer isn't gonna change, Shikamaru said, as they all nodded again. Sakura surprisingly nodded. I know, the only way to save her from the suffering is by killing her. There's no other way, she said, as all of them nodded. Good, at least you understand that much, they all said. Meanwhile, Menma was resting in a hotel, just laying down, as he was thinking about Suki. Suki, how far have you gone into darkness? It's like revenge has consumed you completely. I cannot even recognize you anymore. Just who are you? Menma thought, but then his thoughts were cut off when he heard a voice. We really should talk, Menma Uzumaki, said Naruto as he was sitting in the railing like he didn't give a damn, looking at Menma. Meanwhile, on the Five Kage Summit, Danzo was cornered from all the sides. He tried to use his Koda Matsukami on Mei, but owl just saw the chakra flowing through Danzo's left eye, and he knew that chakra signature. That chakra signature was Shisui Uchiha, and he saw that his Mizukage was under Genjutsu, so he freed her from it. And from that, Danzo was cornered. So, what do you have to say for yourself, Okage? Said Sotikage as he looked at Danzo. All the nations must be united into one nation. Without that, peace can never be attained, said Danzo as he looked at all of them. And you just want to be the supreme leader of this great nation that you speak of. Is that it, huh? Said the Raikage, glaring at the old geezer. Danzo simply scoffed. Well, that was the truth. He just wanted to rule the world. Suddenly, the ground started getting distorted as all the guards came in front of the Kages, and soon White Zetsu came out. Hello there, he said in his jovial tone. Suki Uchiha is here and she's pretty angry, said White Zetsu. The Raikage quickly leapt up. Tell me where that little girl is, said Raikage as he looked at White Zetsu. And without anything, he just snapped his neck, and White Zetsu dropped down dead. So quickly got his radio out, tightened the security around the building, and searched for Suki Uchiha immediately, he said, as all the guards nodded and went into action. Karin, sensing the sudden shift in chakra, Karin spoke. What is this? She said. Suki noticed that. What is it, Karin? She asked. Well, it's the chakra signature of the shinobis around. It changed from calm to aggressive very quick, she said. I think they're looking for us, she said again. Suki just gritted her teeth. What does this mean? She said. I think it's a White Zetsu. He told them that we are here, she said. Suki smirked. So he wanted to test her out. Is that why White Zetsu informed the Kages? All of them were hiding. Jugo spoke. Karin, you focus on locating Danzo. I'll handle the shinobis around. Me and Sugetsu will do that. You just focus on locating Danzo. He's our main priority, said Jugo as he leapt forward along with Sugetsu. This is such a drag, said Sugetsu, but Karin was shaking as he felt. Suki was currently killing all the ninjas that were around her. Her blade sword surrounded with black lightning as she was slicing them through like butter. Her speed had increased so much in this past few months that she was training with the Masked Man, and she had to say the Masked Man training regimes were cruel but very effective, and it was showing right now. No matter how many shinobis there were, they were unable to keep up with her, and she was killing them without any difficulties. Karin was shaking as she felt it. Suki, her chakra, it's even more vile and cold and filled with hatred, even more than when she was in her Curse Mark 2 stage with Orochimaru's chakra in her. And this aura, she said. This is not the old Suki anymore, she thought again. Meanwhile, Raikage, Dari, and she were running upstairs. Where's Sasuke and the others? Said the Raikage, right down below us. Raikage-sama, said she. Dari looked at Raikage. Oh, Raikage, don't tell me you're gonna do that in this place. But before Raikage could answer, it already happened. Dari sighed. Raikage had broken through the goddamn wall, and the Kumo would have to pay for its repairs. What a drag, he thought, as he jumped down from the hole that Raikage created. Suki, Jugo, and Sugetsu looked up as they saw a huge crater form down and Raikage and his bodyguards jumping down. The one in the middle is the Raikage, and those are his two guards, said Jugo as he looked at them. Suki Uchiha, you're gonna face my wrath, said the Raikage as he looked at the girl. Suki just looked at the Raikage with a smug face as a black lightning surrounded her sword. Dari was pretty surprised when he saw the black lightning surround Suki's sword, because he also knew how to wield the black lightning and it was taught to him by the third Raikage. But this girl, who taught it to her? He disregarded those thoughts. It was not time for that. As Suki leapt forward and brought down her sword, but Dari went with two hand signs. Water style. Water wall, he said as he blasted a wall of water towards Suki. Then went to one-handed hand signs. Well, lightning style. Emotional wave, he said as he blasted the water with lightning, electrocuting Suki as he had to jump back and skidded. And as he got a grip and looked at the others. Looks like the intel we got about the Suki Uchiha is correct. She has a change in chakra nature for lightning, but black lightning, that's new, said she as he looked at the Raikage. Doesn't matter, Raikage said, as the lightning cloak started flicking around them. This will be over quick. Raikage leapt forward and punched Suki right through the chest, but soon that was a genjutsu. Suki spoke. Suigetsu, Jugo, don't get caught up in it. It's a genjutsu, she said, as both Suigetsu and Jugo got out the genjutsu. As expected of the Sharingan, she thought. Looks like that guy is a sensory ninja and also the backup support as distraction, said Jugo, as he blocked the strike from Dari and Suki blocked the strike from the Raikage. And looks like we'll have our hands full, said Suki, but we need to take out the sensory guy first, she said. Suigetsu tapped in as he blocked the sword, the Raikage's under the strike with a sword. You all just, Suki, you focus on taking that guy out, he said, as Suki nodded and leapt up towards the wall. Jugo transformed into his Curse Mark 2 stage and rushed towards the Raikage, as Suigetsu started battling Dari with his sword. You got a nice sword there, Suigetsu said. Dari just looked at him. Yours broken doesn't mean that I'll give you mine, he said, as Suigetsu chuckled. You're a funny guy. I like you, he said. The Raikage was currently pummeling the fully transformed Jugo into the wall, while Suki was looking at. She did the biggest mistake of his life as he looked at Suki. His Sharingan and C's eyes met, and that was the downfall. C's entire world became dark as he saw a demonic figure right beside him, and his arms grabbing him, and slowly blood started spilling everywhere as C got knocked out. He couldn't believe that he fell for that trick. He was covered in the Sharingan Genjutsu. Raikage just finished elbowing the shit out of Jugo as then he looked at his next opponents. One down, two more to go, he said as he looked at Suki, who had her sword in her hand, black lightning cackling through it, and the Raikage glaring at her. Meanwhile, you bastard, Menma said as he created a Rasengan and slammed it into the wall where the man was. And soon there was a voice towards the up. Rasengan right off the bat, but you do know that doesn't work on me, right? Said Madara as he looked at Menma. You bastard, tell me where Suki is, he said, as wooden vines appeared everywhere and trapped Naruto, and Kakashi appeared beside him with a Raikyu in hand, and many of wooden pillars appeared in front of Menma. We won't let you get your hands that easily on Menma, Madara Uchiha, Kakashi said, as Madara looked at Kakashi, giving him a slight glance. You do know that no attack work against me, don't you? I just defeated your strongest ninjas without any much trouble. What do you think you can do? Said Madara as he looked at all of them. We're a bastard. I don't care about that. Tell me where Suki is, Ninma said again as he shouted. Very well then. But before that, I want to ask you something, Ninma. You managed to convince Nagato to betray me. You piqued my interest. So, tell me, what did you do to him? Said Naruto as he looked at Menma, who was glaring at him. Naruto sighed. Suki Uchiha, huh? You won't tell me anything unless I tell you about her. Very well then. I'll tell you about the girl who has been consumed by the darkest histories of the shinobi world's hatred. But before telling you the story about Suki Uchiha, I have to tell you the story about Itachi Uchiha first. After a long story time, Menma, Kakashi, and Yamato were shocked. What? What? There's no way that Itachi did that, said Yamato. Itachi did whatever I told you. It all makes sense, doesn't it? Feel it in your heart. Kakashi Hatake, you knew Itachi and how kind the boy was. You honestly think he would kill his clan for no reason. Kakashi was contemplated and he was conflicted. But if what you're telling is the truth, why would Suki just want to destroy the village that Itachi wanted to protect? Kakashi said, well, that's simple. Suki simply wants to take revenge on the village that caused her brother so much pain and the eradication of her clan. To her, her clan meant more than the village. It's as simple as that, said Madara as they all looked at him. You were the one who manipulated her, didn't you? Said Menma. Madara simply shook his head. Well, I just told her the truth, and whatever she did is her own free will. I have got nothing to do with it. So, Menma Uzumaki Namikaze, you remind me of Hashirama Senju so much, said Madara as he looked at Menma. While meanwhile, Suki reminds me of myself. She is one of my kind, the one who picks revenge over looking past things, said Madara as he looked at them. The battle between you two is inevitable. It'll happen sooner or later, just like how it happened with me and Hashirama. This clan debuts have been going for centuries. It all started with the Sage of the Six Paths. The Sage of the Six Paths, that's just a myth, said Kakashi. Well, all myths are mostly based on truth, or the imagination of people. Isn't that right? The Sage truly did exist, and he had two sons, Ashura and Indra. The younger son of the sage was born with his body, while the older was born with his mind, intellect, and his eyes. The older son, who was expected to be the successor of his father, was not chosen as the successor because he valued power more than love and friendship that the younger one valued. And due to that, the sage chose the younger one as a successor. And because of that, of hatred, the feeling of hatred and betrayal, the older brother declared war on the younger one. And that's how the Uchiha and Senju were formed. The clan debuts between the two clans go that deep within Menma. And you are the spitting image of the first Hokage. I have no doubt in my mind that you will fight Suki Uchiha to the death, said Madara as he looked at Menma. collecting the tail beast. What exactly is your goal, Madara? Said Kakashi as he looked at Madara. Well, if anything, I would say it's to become one again, said Madara as he looked at Kakashi. What does that mean? Kakashi said. Well, you'll know pretty soon. Sorry, but I have to be somewhere. But before that, Menma, what did you do to Nagato exactly? Said Madara. I simply talked to him, and he agreed with my ideals. Unlike you, Nagato truly wanted peace in this ninja world, not destruction. Said Menma. And what makes you think that I don't want peace, Uzumaki? Well, it doesn't matter. You'll soon know the horrors of war again, said Madara as he started vanishing in a swirling vortex. See you again, Uzumaki Menma, and the next time we meet, it'll be the end. Take this as a parting gift, said Madara as another swirling vortex appeared. Inside Menma's dome or cage, or whatever you want to call it, of wood, as Kushina came out of the strolling vortex. Menma quickly dropped to his knees. Mom, he said. He checked her pulse. She was alive. Menma glared at Madara. You'll pay for this, Madara Uchiha, Menma said. Madara simply chuckled. I'll be looking forward to it, Menma Uzumaki, because the next time we meet, it will be the end for you.